keep their information safe to the best of my ability. Some of the videos don't have titles that have people's names in them for safety reasons, but also with a lot of them like that, it makes it difficult to go back. With Kandyce, she was nice. She talked nice to me, but also she only contacted me when she wanted something. Only when she wanted something. It was food, thank goodness. She asked me if I like the white. No, I don't. I don't mess with it. But she's only talked to me once outside of a public setting where it's just me and her. It's not generally something that one would say in the middle of Starbucks or in the middle of Denny's. And now this lady, she wanted food. I made sure that I fed her. More importantly, her son. That was what she wanted. She knew what help she needed, and I provided. However, for my own safety, I record everything everywhere, if at all possible. Because I'm stuck in public, I have to. Because anyone could harm me in public at any point in time, and likely and often do. That is something that I have to be afraid of. With Kandyce, you know, Amber at the McDonald's let me know about her. She wasn't the only one. Alexander was talking about her the other day too. Also talking about who her old man was. Yep, she does have a white car. The one that she was in yesterday was this older feller's car. He's got a lot of gray hair. He's the one that started off. He started beating on my window, and I looked up. I was like, what the fuck? He said, make sure you record this. Make sure you record this. All right, I'm getting to it. And while I was trying to get it started so I could record it, he was doing all sorts of threatening. Fuck. People over at Tillamook Sporting Goods got to see it and hear it. She spat on my window and threw a cup of coffee at it. She threw a cup of coffee at my fucking car. You get to hear it in the video bounce off of it. Well, the lid didn't pop off of it. So she actually got out, walked over, picked up her coffee cup, started drinking it again. That's all on video. So is all the times that I fed, well, not all the times that I fed her. I didn't always have the ability to make my electronics work. But I think one or two of those times are recorded on my clandestine audio device. This thing here. If you see me messing with this thing here, you should be very afraid. You should be very afraid to lie to me. And you should be very afraid to lie about me. You should be very afraid to tell anybody anything different than what you told me, because we're going to have to ask why you lied repeatedly. Why you slandered my name when you didn't get what you wanted right when you wanted it. Why you looked the other way. Why, when you admitted to seeing people assaulting me, you never came forward. You'll admit to me that you were there, but then you would say you don't want to get involved. It don't matter if you want to get involved or not, bitch. You was already involved. There's a lot of guys that I know that wanted to get involved, and for certainly call them naughty names. I call them bitches. The ones whose stupidity ended up getting people hurt or killed, I call cunts. Kandyce wanted to use her son to manipulate me into feeding her. Expects me to well, it is an expectation. When I told her I'd feed them, I did. I did my best. When it came to her calling me off the hook, yeah, that drove me fucking nuts. Why are you waiting until such an insane fucking hour to do it? Oh, that's because she's on tweaker hours. She might not sleep for a few days, and then she might sleep all day. Now, I haven't seen her do any meth. All the places I've seen her and interacted with her, every one of them has been public. One day she was asking if I messed with the white. It was right outside of, I want to say it was right outside of the Denny's, because that's where I met her. Now, I did feed her. I did so at my own risk and peril. But I was also aware that it was at my own risk and peril. I record because I have to. Amber speaks about Kandyce. Not just her reputation, but her past. Same thing about Alexander. I'm not stupid. I'm aware of where I am at. I'm aware of how dangerous a situation it is. I am aware that as a male, people are not going to take it seriously. At all. I will have to beg them for help, and they will go out of their way to remain as ignorant as possible, like sitting 30 feet away, while I have to talk to one of these people who's blowing me off. But I try. I don't get what is wrong with your brains where you think that a man who is being abused needs any different help than what a woman needs. A man needs those same resources when he's abused. A man needs a safe house. If he's having to stay with meth heads and alcoholics, those people are volatile, like Kandyce. She didn't want to be on the internet. Now, the only excuse that she can find, or try to find, is her son. Well, he is not recorded. It is recorded very, very, very loud that she was the one doing the prompting, doing the speaking, and she was very loud about it. Some of the things she tried to say under her breath, but you know what? It was still recorded. Went back and checked. Them tell me I'm a good man and thank you, thank you, thank you. I only spent, what, 300, maybe 400 bucks altogether worth of my food stamps on them. Probably around 300. She didn't want to come into the McDonald's. She just wanted to go through the drive-thru, and I would pay for it from inside of there. Well, Amber was the one who ran my thing all the way back to the back to run it. So that Kandyce and the guy who came and threatened me with her yesterday, so that them and her son could have food. I guess that was about 2 weeks ago. Now, it's been a while. That's the thing, is that through all of this, I end up helping others when they need it, when they ask. At least trying my best. You guys will spend just as much time procrastinating. You will spend 4 hours arguing with me over whether or not turning in these crimes will do any good. If we do it together, yes. Individually, no. We will get blown off and told we can't make a report. They'll ask questions they're not allowed to ask. They also say things that they're not allowed to say, things that are illegal. It's called color of law. When they tell you that you can't make a report for someone else, you are not making a report for someone else. You are making a report for you. You saw that. It is your safety. You notice how Kara Johnson Miles was allowed to call me in from Texas. But Shannon Alvarado and literally all of my friends wanted to use the fact that they were in a different state as an excuse to be bitches. As an excuse to look away. Y'all want to tell me, hey Sean, don't be so mean to those junkies. So mean to them. You mean like rescuing Desiree not once but twice from a trap house in Cheyenne, Wyoming? You mean stuffing everything going on in my life so that I could go do what Natalie Bollinger wanted, what Alicia Bollinger wanted. But they were on drugs now, weren't they? But they just pretend like I'm on drugs and magically it's okay. They victimize me until I have a mental breakdown and then tell people I'm mentally ill and on fucking drugs. And you fucking eat it up. Meanwhile, the hospitals don't care about us. The police don't fucking care about us. We are free fucking money for them. Free tax dollars. Just like we're free tax dollars for Tillamook Family Counseling Center. What happens if they do their jobs as mandated reporters? Then I don't have to come back week after week after week after week because the problem has been fucking dealt with. They don't get paid if they deal with the problem. These people who wanted to tell me for 6 years, some of them over 100 hours of them making excuses. Over 100 hours with just one individual. Recorded on this. Takes 2 days to try to download a half-hour conversation from this onto the internet, and I have to have a place to do it, and I have to have the physical ability to carry my shit in there, and it is unsafe because I have to make 2 trips. Somebody could steal my things at any point in time. Some business owner could accuse me of abandoning my stuff and throw it away, or take it in the back and claim that somebody stole it. There's a lot of people who hold animosity towards homeless people, hatred towards homeless people. People like Rob. People like the cops here in Tillamook. People like hospital workers nationwide. Many of those hospital workers are pissed off that their insurance won't even cover them going to that hospital. And they're going to take it out on you. How dare you walk into their hospital when their insurance won't even cover it? How dare you, lazy junkie, on fucking government insurance. With all these people who hate Obamacare. Now you get to see with Kandyce that I recorded for my safety because I knew that she was a meth addict. I was already well aware. You also get to see how I spoke about that and how I spoke about how feeding her son was what was important. Yeah, I knew she was trying to pull the wool over my eyes, that I only existed when she wanted something. That she was mean, extremely mean about my emotions, about what I'm going through, very dismissive and cruel about it. But you notice, even after that, I still fed her and her son and her friend. What would happen if I just got enough for her son to eat in front of them? Would her son have been able to eat it all, or would they have snacked on it? The thing is that those videos end up getting buried. There are hundreds of videos of people being extremely cruel, and the messages between us. When your friend is suicidal, they're suicidal for one reason and one reason only. Because nobody will fucking listen to them. Nobody cares enough to listen to them. You have so little respect for them that you will talk over them, talk down to them, sell your own narrative, tell your own fucking stories, and pretend that pretty memes fucking fix it. You will do anything except listen to the male victim because you have been taught as a society that only women are to be heard. That is truly what you've taught while you try to teach the opposite. Women aren't heard? Oh, they're heard. They are definitely heard. The bias in this country against men has been created specifically by women who only want the top 1% of men. And when they don't get that, feel that they are entitled to take it out on all of the rest of us. The 10% of the men or 5% of the men that you are willing to say yes to on a date, the way that they treat you reflects on you and who you choose to date, who you say yes to. It does not reflect on all men. You notice when I say women, that I do very specifically explain which women. Not all women are this way. All women in America are taught to be this way. That doesn't mean that they're gonna do it. Women are taught that they can make a deal with a man, and then they can remake the deal, and then remake the deal, and then remake the deal until finally they get what they wanted to begin with, and he gets nothing. Especially when a woman has a man in a subservient environment. Those of you women who claim that a man can't understand that bullshit, you do that to men. You do that to men. You complain about men doing things that you're doing too. You're shitty people. Then you want to call me a hypocrite because the crimes committed against me that I was refused the right to turn in, that nobody would help me to turn in because they did not care while they still claimed to be my friends, still claimed that they cared, even claimed to love me. If they loved me, then why didn't they get a hold of me to see how I was doing? They would only ask when I would message them first. And then I would try to tell them they wouldn't hear it. They were too busy disrespecting me because I have a penis. And telling me that I'm the disrespectful one because it's your turn to speak, your turn to speak. You weren't there. When you're victimized, I listen patiently to your fucking bullshit story. And they are bullshit. They're all bullshit. You don't have to give me a 4-hour-long fucking sob story to get my help. You want help moving? I'll help you move. You're hungry? I'll help feed you. Just fucking ask. Don't beat around the bush. And you get to see very specifically that this is a woman's thing to do in this country. To beat around the bush. And then when a man's been victimized for being straightforward about what he needs, he has to beat around the bush to get you to fucking listen. You have to have some magic feeling that you've been able to read between the lines. There's no lines to read between with me. There are no fucking lines to read between. When you make me try to interact in that completely fucking asinine fashion, a bunch of shit that is fucking irrelevant. Do you want me to turn it in to the police? No? Then don't tell me your fucking backstory. Ask for the help you need. If I can, I will. You're not going to listen to my backstory. Even if you do, you hear about my disabilities, and then you suggest that I do things that my disabilities prevent. Or I tell you about how the police are allowed to do these things and how hard it is to get the body cameras, and you guys want to argue about that. No, I am a homeless man who has not had a steady address. It takes a steady, permanent address. Stability. Now you notice how people throw their drug-addicted families on the streets, and then they want us to feel sorry for those drug addicts. You didn't feel sorry for them, you threw them out on the streets. Where they're out here victimizing us, taking advantage of us. Where we only exist when they want something. If we express any of our emotions or feelings, we are yelled at, cursed at, and treated like shit. Yes, Kandyce was very shitty to me about expressing emotions that I had. Not about her vagina, obviously. So what do I have to do? I have to protect myself and my loved ones. And I have to do it strategically with the understanding that women are not going to help. Women are not going to help the way that they helped a man. Or the way that they helped a woman. They're not going to help that woman to turn it in. If that woman is in fact a man. They're going to talk about it and type about it. Give empty promises and drag it out as long as possible, just like the cops do by blowing me off because you're not there. That's why the cops do this. They know that they can get away with it. They can automatically discredit me by calling me mentally ill. And also, if I'm literally trying to give them the statement and I'm telling them I am an at-risk and disabled adult, they'll, oh, you sound cognitive to me. But later on they change their story, don't they? They always do. That's why I have so much evidence of people doing these things. Now with Kandyce, trying to vandalize my vehicle, spitting on it. Her friend threatening my life, threatening harm against me. Yeah, I'm fucking happy about that. I'm glad to be here. Yes, my car is a safe place in this parking lot where you're not allowed to stay overnight. I am lucky that I've been able to. Then we got a lot of women who coming on here, right? And they want to tell about their stuff. I speak up, don't I? I allow them their venue, and I try to speak up too. But how many of them actually speak up for me, and how many of them just come here and type at the peanut gallery? Like Girl Interrupted. Probably the shittiest person on my channel right now. Because she's seen so much and literally done nothing. Literally nothing to speak up. She generalized, played stupid, and she forgot Natalie Bollinger's name. How many years has she been watching my channel and commenting on it? She said about a year. And then she said, well, actually going back to 2019. 2019 is a lot longer ago than a year. There's a lot of people who typed on my YouTube supportive stuff. But did they ever come forward about it? Did they come forward with me to turn these things in? The things that they claim that they tried. They claimed it, but the cops claim that it never happened. The cops claim that I'm making it up. Even the things that you have seen, the cops claim I've made up. The things that you claim that you did, the cops claim I made up. I have to be afraid everywhere I go because I have to record for my own safety. But I also show that it's not that I'm an idiot that makes me so vulnerable. It's the ease of victimization because men are assumed to be guilty. The homeless are assumed to be guilty. And the disabled are assumed to be retarded. I'm not okay with being victimized by anyone, not even Kandyce. Using your child to try to manipulate somebody out of food, well, you don't get to manipulate me, I'm not stupid. And then you want to use your child as an excuse when you're angry. You want to pretend that it's wrong for me to be angry about having my name slandered by hundreds of these sites. Hundreds. There are hundreds of YouTube videos of people slandering me and harassing me. Their videos, these true crime videos. I try to tell people about what's going on because I need help. None of them care. But then when they're angry because they're on the internet, they're allowed to be angry, aren't they? But I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy because I'm angry about being actually abused, actually taken advantage of. The other thing is, I know that I have to let these people take advantage of me or it could get a lot worse. It could turn into a woman who is screaming and shouting at me because she's messed out of her fucking goddamn gourd. Telling me I'm a horrible person because she just wants to feed her son. That's all she wants, and I'm being a horrible excuse for a human being. I'm a harmful person. She didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it right that moment. So she might start screaming and shouting that I'm a rapist or a child molester or worse. She might try pretending that I touched her inappropriately or that I tried to force myself on her because she didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. She can go calling up her friends and saying, hey, there's this pervert in town. Kind of like the news did when people in Chapel, Nebraska who knew me, and people in Boulder, Colorado, who knew me. You say, oh, people forgot all about it. No, the people that I knew did not forgot all about it. Chris Kurth did not forgot all about it. Brenda Dickinson did not forgot all about it. Laura Nelson did not forgot all about it. Candace Bondurant did not forgot all about it. Carl Snell did not forgot all about it. None of those people forgot all about it. And those are people that I knew before Natalie was dead. These aren't people who are assholes just because of web sleuth stuff and just on the internet. These are people I know in real life who harmed me. In real life, Desiree harmed me greatly. And she has a history of violence against men. She gets off on hurting men. So yes, I had to be afraid for my safety having her there. Plus her being strung out on drugs. Coming down. Withdrawing from methamphetamine. I get that people are angry because they're addicts. And now it's known to the whole world. Or anybody, the 56 viewers who watched it? That you're an addict, how many of them care? Meanwhile, you're able to do a lot of things with your money, like get your meth and go on trips all the way to Coos Bay because people are buying food for you and your son. So what are you doing with your food stamps? What are you doing with your money? Oh, your mental health, You got to do these things for your mental health. What about my mental health? How about Zach Richmond? Schizophrenic, delusional, strung out on fucking methamphetamines. And the guy has this delusion that the mentally ill, defending the mentally ill in court. No, Zach, you're talking delusional shit. You are talking delusional shit at me. But him being a meth addict, just like with Kandyce, it's not just my observation. I tell my observation. I for surely do. But also, there's people who know those folks here. There's people who know Kandyce here. Now, there's different Kandyces, isn't there? There's Candace Bondurant in Hexton, Colorado, and then later in Nebraska. And then there's this Kandyce. Now, the picture on the front of this isn't a very good picture, so I'm going to go back through and I'm going to look at that video and I'm going to find the actual picture. It's a much, much better picture. She's wearing sunglasses. I don't know if I pointed it at her while she was screaming and shouting after I got out of the vehicle, but yeah, I got out to see if she damaged my vehicle. Something clunked off of it. Just a coffee cup. Now you get to see how she wants to use her child is an excuse later to try to pretend like I'm a horrible person. I'm not. I did the right thing by feeding them. I also did the right thing for my safety by recording it and by telling the truth about the situation. And you get to see how she plays victim. Every woman in America is taught to do this when she gets busted lying, when she gets busted playing. Oh no, magically you're the bad guy because she was busted. I record these situations to show the truth. Because many of these people, if it's not recorded, will try to claim that you're slandering them, that you're making it up, that it's a lie. Well, it's recorded and it's on YouTube, so since it came out of your mouth, you're calling yourself a liar. When you call it slander, well, it came out of your mouth. So you're admitting to slander. A lot of people got busted that way, and oh God, they got pissed. I never said that. You're slandering me. Here's the recording. Fuck you, blocked. That's the usual response. Because they're cowards. You get to see how a homeless person is forced into a situation where they have to live with and depend on tweakers everywhere in America. It doesn't matter that I don't do drugs. It's just going to be assumed by the hospitals and the cops that I'm a druggie because that gets them more money. We are completely disrespected. I was assaulted January 28th at the Tillamook hospital. Is it safe for me to go to the hospital even with a broken toe? No. If I had a heart attack, let me fucking die. Do not resuscitate me. Leave me dead. If it wasn't for the dangerous situations that I am stuck in, I wouldn't have to record. I have to show what it is really like to be stuck in public. I have to try to give my social security number out in public and my phone numbers out in public. You don't want your phone number in public? Well, how about stop forcing me to do things in public, making suggestions that are expensive and in public? Instead of telling me what to do, help me turn it in. 400 people telling me to go to the library doesn't get it taken seriously because you have to have someone who cares about you, a friend or family member, to tell them to take it seriously. Or you're just a retard. That's how we're treated. If we go in alone, we're just retards. Kandyce didn't give a shit about me. When she wanted something, she had no problems calling me 10 times in a fucking row. And doing it from multiple different phone numbers. You're goddamn right I recorded it. Kind of like I take screenshots of all of these fake accounts getting on and trolling my account. Trolling my YouTube. I shouldn't have to do it this way. I only do it this way because I have no safe place to do it from. No ready-made outlet. No safe roof over my head. No my place to park my car. You want to say, oh, you're in your car, it's safe. No, it's not. There is no place that is mine for me to park it. Anybody who wants to get drunk and pissed off can take away everything from me at a moment's notice. Ah, fuck. Not your fault. Not your fault. Fuck. And there's those of you who want to go, oh, well, you smoke cigarettes, that's a drug. You drink coffee, that's a drug. Is it snorting meth? Is he shooting up heroin? Huh? Is it freebasing crack? Am I so hopped up on pharmaceuticals that I don't know what the fuck is going on? Am I so drunk that I'm slurring my speech? You get to see one thing in common with nearly all of my predators. Nearly all of them. Drugs and alcohol. Oh yeah, and sex. Sex is far too important to you people. Well, you pretend that to me it's not important enough. No, I don't want to spread my genetic seed. I don't want smart, intelligent offspring running around the planet getting victimized by you fucking imbeciles. The cruelty is that we bring children into this world to begin with before we have fixed our problems, and then we want to say one thing and do another. That's what my friends wanted to do, say one thing and do another. If people harm me, this is what my friends are going to do because I'm a male. But if I even threaten just once to do these things, then I'm a horrible monster all of a sudden. People can do it to me hundreds of times, but if I ever do it back or even threaten to do it back, then magically I'm some horrible fucking monster. That them ignoring me for months instead of helping me to turn it in when it happened, somehow magically that is now alleviated. Because why? Because they ignored it until I had to do something desperate. Because they showed they did not care. Caitlin Tatum showed for 6 fucking years she did not care. She typed pretty words, but did literally nothing. Did not bother to find out what's going on. Wanted to talk over me, talk down to me. Tell me how to think and how to feel. Send me numbers for resources. No, those resources do no good when you're a homeless male, unless you have a friend or family member. It's different when you have tits. With Kandyce, if I had not fed her and her son, then I would have been victimized, very likely, for not helping her. Oftentimes, I have addicts that want my help, and they want to use their kids as an excuse. And they say, and if you can't, it's okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. And then they start going on a really loud rant and yelling and screaming at me. And you know what? If I can't, it's because I literally can't. When I'm asking you to speak up, because someone who you claimed was your friend and kept you safe is being harmed, and you can't find the time in 6 years, you're a fucking worthless piece of shit. You are not a friend. You are an enemy, and by choice you are an enemy. You chose to neglect the harm against me. You let me know outright that your friend who is being harmed, your friend who has kept you safe, doesn't matter because only the LGBT community matters to you. They're your special project. Do you have any idea how many people in the LGBT community have victimized me? Any idea whatsoever? I'm not going to pretend that a rapist who identifies as a woman isn't a rapist. I'm not going to pretend that Rain, a 300-pound individual who has a penis but identifies as a female, I'm not going to pretend that he didn't rape his little sister just because he identifies as a she. I'm not going to pretend that it's wrong for me to record, because you get to see how important it is. With Zayd Atkinson, his friend recording, his friend who was there was recording. Where were my friends? Where were my friends? Making me do it alone. Telling me pretty words and promising me. But then in the end, they want to redo the deal. Oh no, Sean, I've decided now you have to do this, and now you have to do that. Oh, you don't have the money because you've got 30 other people that are promising to help but won't unless you go here or go there or buy this or buy that. Meanwhile, you do have to give to the tweakers and the meth addicts in the community like this. Because the majority of these people are meth addicts. And they will, just like in Colorado, with my friends all being friends with my predators too. People like Miss Peaches was friends with people who threatened to kill me, like Blaine McCrelius. People like Joanna Taylor, who promised they were going to help me put a stop to it. Couldn't even make time for coffee. She's still friends with Maddie Boa. These people threw me away because as a man, I don't matter. As a man, I'm not important. Brenda Dickinson showed that. Dennis Dickinson showed that. The Martindale family showed that. Because this is truly how homeless, disabled men are treated. You treat us like we're retarded. Like we don't know what it is to be victimized. Like we don't know what a threat is. But you know what? If we do it back after over a year and a half of having our lives threatened. That's right. It took over a year and a half from when the threats, harassment, and assaults against me first started for me to ever threaten anyone back. Well, before I ever threatened to kill anyone back. And who did I threaten? Come on, folks, you gotta know this. He's got a name. Give you a hint. He raped Natalie, his own daughter. Had her selling drugs at 13. Her family, both sides, played non-stop head games until I had a mental breakdown, and then they got to have court without me. I was never allowed to show evidence. I never had a place where I could even process my evidence. So I end up with more bullshit getting recorded. All of the unsafe situations that you send us to. Oh, you should go to a homeless shelter. Really? Where? Are they going to let me process my evidence? Are they going to let me process my emotions? Do you stop to think about how horrible it is to stuff an autistic person in a homeless shelter to begin with? No, you fucking don't. Do you stop to think about how a person who has been repeatedly through their entire life been victimized by alcoholics and drug addicts and people with severe mental problems, and you're going to force him to go somewhere with alcoholics and drug addicts and severe mental problems? Especially after Natalie was killed and you wanted me to go to the Boulder shelter. I didn't need to go to the Boulder shelter. That would have gotten somebody hurt or killed. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you so fucking blind to the situation? Yes, you are, because you haven't had to live it. Yes, when Kandyce asks me to feed her kid, I have to help her. I have a penis. If I don't do it, a woman wants right when she wants. I'm a horrible person. If I don't have sex with Lana Engeline because she thinks that that's going to fix all my fucking problems. then all of a sudden I'm a bad person. And she's going to have a shitty attitude with me and treat me like fucking shit because she didn't get what she wanted right when she fucking wanted it. No, Lana Ingeline is not worth a fuck. You know what recording it does? It makes it so that if Kandyce comes up to my car and spits on the window, it's recorded. If they're threatening me, it's recorded. There's proof. But still, I don't have a place to process it. And I don't have someone to help me to turn it in. It has to go in, be turned in with someone else. Otherwise, I will be blown off. They won't look, or they'll pretend that they looked. Meanwhile, there's pieces of shit on my channel who want to get on here and talk about themselves. This is what women are taught to do. Women are taught to talk about themselves. That's supposed to help men. You talking about yourself nonstop is supposed to help us. It fucking doesn't. Then you don't know shit about what's going on. We know everything about you. And yes, I'm fucking recording it. Oh, that's got my personal information. Well, I didn't want your personal information. I didn't call you for help to listen to you talk about yourself and make excuses for sometimes up to 100 hours worth of recordings that I have. Oh, sure, you made some time. You made time to make excuses, to argue with me, to talk down to me, to be negative. By no matter what, there's some excuse why you can't try. You're the one who's negative. The only one in all of this who is being positive is me. Because I'm the only one who is actually making a real effort. But you see that I have to be afraid of going alone because I'll be blown off. I have to be afraid of not recording live because officers will treat me the way I was treated in Rawlins, Wyoming. Or in the Boulder Hospital. Or in the Longmont Hospital. Or at Dallas Richmond's house. We're not people to you. That slander from Waylon Lolatai and Natalie Bollinger harms me everywhere. That slander by officers trying to diagnose me as schizophrenic in facilities that are rubber stamps, they're going to believe the officer over you. 100% of the time. They're not going to fucking care. When the officers assaulted me, Waylon Lolatai, in specific, when he assaulted me, and I was taken to the jail, and I was assaulted there over and over again, and I had my food thrown across the floor at me for breakfast, where I had to try to turn in the fact that I was fucking assaulted from inside of the jail, because they were trying to frame me for murder. And you don't give a fuck about the fact that that happened across multiple jurisdictions. When I'd go to Starbucks, I'd get harassed by cops in Starbucks. I'd go to another Starbucks, I'd get harassed by cops in Starbucks. In between the two Starbucks, I would have homeless people who wanted to stop and ask me questions. Or homeless folks who wanted to fucking assault me. Or homeless folks who wanted to defend me while somebody was trying to assault me so I can get away, so that I get to the other Starbucks, so that I can make a fucking report without being fucking assaulted, or having my fucking computer broken, or my phone broken. Meanwhile, I had to do that at the very beginning with just my phone. Because you know what? Broomfield Police Department still has my computer. They never returned it. Officer Jai Rogers lied to me repeatedly. You make me go to cops who lied to me over and over again. And you don't go in with me. So you make it their word versus mine. You don't help me to turn it in. Some of you pretend later that you tried, but you have no proof of it. What shitty people you are.